Hello, my name is Annie Adjan. I am an academic and ADHD certified coach. I make this content 100% free for parents so that your kids can succeed in school and throughout their entire lives. Here is a quick and easy acronym to help you and your kids start the school year on the right note. The first S is for sleep. I would imagine that your teenager has been getting a little extra Z's, some extra Z's this summer, which is good. They need that. But going into the school year, we need to remind you that their circadian rhythms, teenagers' circadian rhythms, are naturally oriented to make them want to go to bed later and to sleep in later. So going back to school, it's going to be a brutal week if on day one they go from sleeping in until 11:30 in the morning to getting up at 5:30 in the morning. What you want to do a week before school starts is help them acclimate to getting up a little bit earlier each morning. The Monday before school starts, instead of waking up at noon, have them wake up at 11. On Tuesday, 10:30. On Wednesday, 10 o'clock in the morning. And by the time the first day of school rolls around, it won't be quite so brutal to wake up at 6 in the morning. Next is the letter T, and that's for time management. One of the best ways that you can help your teenager get on top of their time management is by implementing a great time management tool like the Pomodoro technique. I teach about this all the time. You may be familiar with this practice. It's used by millions of people all over the world, students and professionals alike. It's simply managing your time by timing 25-minute intervals followed by a 5-minute break. Now, I found over the years that when you teach a student why things work, they're much more likely to step into the practice and initiate it on their own. The reason why the Pomodoro works is that it's brain training. The 25 minutes of timed hyper-focused, concentrated effort helps to train their brain to slip into a very laser-like focused concentration. The 5-minute break is incredibly valuable because it's called the diffuse gear in the brain. During this period, the brain is absorbing all that it's learned during the 25-minute hyper-focused period. It is making connections. It's a highly creative time during the brain. And without those intermittent 5-minute breaks, the brain simply isn't going to be able to recharge or have the stamina to keep going at it. Start your student out with just 2 consecutive Pomodoros, 25 minutes study time, 5 minutes break, 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off. And you'll find that if you practice that regularly over the course of a week, they'll be able to slip into the hyper-focused mode. Next is the letter E, and this is for their electronics. We all know that the electronics, their screens, their technology, their smartphones, their tablets, their Chromebooks, they pretty much hold our teenagers' brains hostage. So you absolutely have to build in some parameters around how and when they use them. So here's what I find works best for families. It's essential that your student have no screen time and no technology in their bedroom. Sometimes parents are just going to have to do along with your child. I know we feel like there's this hierarchy, and sometimes the parents get to do things that the students, that your kids don't, but this is one of those things that I want you to step into a collaborative practice with your kids. Have the entire family check in their technology at 10 o'clock at night in a central location in the house. Maybe you have a charging dock in the living room or the kitchen, and everyone, parents included, check in their technology and leave them at the docking station until the next morning. Don't worry, you're not going to miss anything important. The important people are saved to your favorites on your phone already, so should they call in the middle of the night, you will hear the phone ring in the middle of the night. And the last tip that we have for you, the final P of your acronym STEP, stepping back into the academic school year with success and confidence, is print out their schedule. I know this sounds obvious, but after you print out that schedule, here's what you're going to do with it. Keep a copy for yourself. Parents, you should know which classes your student's taking this year. Also know if they're on a block schedule and know what time of the day they have to be at school, what time is release. But your student also needs a copy of this schedule. They're going to print it out, cut it down to size, and slip it into the back of their phone or inside of their phone case. What's even better is that your student can take a picture of their class schedule and save it as the wallpaper of their phone. They're always with their phone, and if they're always with their phone, they will always have their class schedule right at their fingertips. So there you have a helpful acronym. The first S is for sleep. Get on top of their sleep. Make sure they're getting adequate sleep. Something to consider is sleep apnea or too little sleep can actually exhibit characteristics in the classroom that are very similar to thyroid disease and even ADHD. So make sure they're getting adequate sleep. The T in the acronym STEP stands for time management. Get them on a time management system and have them learn the Pomodoro. Pick up one of those vintage shiny red timers from the internet that come in an assortment of different fruits. Let your child pick the one that they like. There's also a lot of apps that your student can put on their phone. The Mighty Tomato is one of my favorites. The E in the acronym STEP stands for the electronics. Have a place where everyone checks in all of their technology every single night at a set time, I say 10 o'clock, and then go to your bedrooms and make sure your student has no other technology in their room. The last P is print out that schedule, put it inside their phones, inside their backpack, in their back pocket, and especially on the wallpaper of their phones. Great luck getting back to school. I know that you're going to prepare your student for success. If you have any questions, please come and schedule a free consultation, annieadjan.com.